Hello again and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a pleasant distraction away from the world of stripping gloss paint and decorating the landing, which is still an ongoing project. But after many months of scraping and saving and every candle holder sold, money going back into it on the odd chopping board, I have finally managed to secure the funds to purchase my brand new Festool Domino DF500Q set. I am absolutely, as you could well imagine, completely over the moon about this. Now, today's video, it's certainly not a review about this product because I haven't really used it yet, but I thought I'd share a little bit of a story with you in regards to how my coming about eventually to purchase this, what actually happened and how it came about. Now, if you are an early subscriber to the channel, you may know the little bit of a backstory to this, but if you're not, I'm going to share it with you anyway. Back in around about March time, I think it was, I'd started up my channel, which I think most of you will probably know the reasons behind that, and I got in touch with Peter Millard at 10 Minute Workshop and just emailed him just asking for a general bit of advice, and could he maybe offer me some a little bit of feedback on a couple of things. And he very kindly sent me the loveliest email saying he'd looked at a couple of videos, I think it was 2 or 3 I had up at the time, and just offered me a little bit of support, gave me a few little ideas for future ones, which I was absolutely blown away by. It was fantastic. And so I took that feedback on board and started thinking about for the future videos. But then I was looking at his 10 years of Domino series, and I asked him a question in the comments section. I said, do you think a person who's only got one function in hand can safely and effectively work a Festool Domino? And I think it really made him think a little bit, to be honest, because then he emailed me and got in touch with me and said, would I mind if he actually dedicated a video to it? I think it was actually his 300th video, which I was a bit, I was honoured, to be honest, but I was a little bit, shocked. It was absolutely fantastic. So he put out his video, I think it was on the Tuesday as he did, and he talked about kind of my situation, and it was very kind of how he spoke, and he then demonstrated how he believed that it was possible for someone who's only got one working hand to use a domino. And my channel at the time, which had 2 subscribers, went overnight to around about 420. So I was very grateful to him for that, which then in turn I then received a complete outpouring. I will call it emotionally overwhelming, because it was, of positivity and support and so many kind words, even to this day now. And I'm going to describe it as the power of social media for good, because prior to setting up my YouTube channel, I had no form of social media, no Facebook, no Instagram, Twitter, nothing like that at all. I just wasn't really for me. So YouTube was my first venture into that, and to receive the good words, goodwill, support, I don't even have the words to describe it, from you guys, was incredible, and it still is to this day. And I'm just very grateful to that. I'd just like to say thank you for that. But interestingly, I'm going to move on back to the story about the domino. Peter did identify a few things in which he think a one-handed person or someone like myself would actually struggle with, and it was regards to moving the front panel, the front section, sorry, changing the cutting bit. He thought would be difficult because he said it's quite awkward for an able-bodied two-handed person to actually do that. And he also suggested things like adjusting the depth cutter could be a little bit fussy, and also attaching and removing the extraction hose. So the plot thickens. A guy, and I actually haven't asked his permission to use his name, so I won't use his full name. A guy called Jeff got in touch with Peter and said, I watched your video, Peter, and said I went away and it was just a little bit of a project. I come up with a bit of a jig, which is this thing here, along with this. He said, which I think would answer the questions to how you think, you know, he said it'd be difficult for a one-handed woodworker to do that. So I've put this together, and I think it's a working, viable option. And then he said, if, you know, Leo would, you know, like it, then I'm more than happy to send it to him gratis. Like, so Peter gave Jeff my contact details, and Jeff emailed me, and God, by this point I think I genuinely was an emotional wreck, and he sent it to me. You know, he paid all the postage and everything, like, and he just said, I did explain, I said it's probably going to be a good while before I've got the funds to be able to afford, you know, a domino, because as we all know, it's a, you know, a premium tool. But Jeff said that's fine. No, so this arrived, and even more so, he also sent me a tutorial video on how to use it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So for the first time, I have actually got both the tool and the jig in front of me, and I am going to demonstrate how the jig works. Now this is purely self-indulgent for me. I can't see anybody else who would be wanting to use something like this, but it's not so much the tool and the jig itself. It is, I've described in the title, it's a celebration of the power of the internet being used for good, or the power of social media being used for good. There is no way I would have gone about doing anything like this without the help of you kind folk out there. So without further ado, I am going to move on. So the first thing is, before I do that, is Jeff had actually set it up with the multi-function style, and I'm actually going to use this, I think, for a template to drill the holes outside on my workbench, because I think if I just secure that in, that'll do the job as well. So all I'm just going to do for this one is I'm just going to, because it needs to be secure. Right, so I've got it clamped down. First thing is, you can see from there, in the template, we just need to secure the domino. Look at that, perfect. And also it's got a little sliding bit at the back just to support the back of it. And then the second bit is this little contraption here. We need to fasten in with a screw. So the first thing Peter said that I possibly have difficulty with would be removing the front section and replacing the cutter blade. But now that's actually secure in place, it's simple, really simple. So now I can lift this part out. So that's now out, and we can go to step B, which is to place the tool in here, secure it down. So that's now firmly fixed in place. And what Peter said, the issue being replacing the cutter blade, is the spindle lock here. You need to hold it in place for it to lock and move that around. So it's kind of a two-handed job, but not anymore, because this little plastic screw stroke thingy me bob here, if I just twist that in, it pushes against the spindle lock, and all I need to do now is rotate that round and it's locked in place. So I take my little spanner and just a little bit more there, my mistake. There we go. I take my spanner and as easy as a two-handed woodworker, I can now safely and efficiently change the cutter blade on my domino, and then it's back to working. Amazing, absolutely amazing. The other thing now is to replace front section. So we secure that back in. Excellent. Slot in. Readjoined both sections now, and also while it's in that position, which Peter said would also be a bit of a pain, extraction hose on, tool out, ready to go. That is just incredible, absolutely incredible. Thank you to Peter, thank you to Jeff, thank you to everyone else. Just to finish up, just to reiterate what I said previously, your words of support have been genuinely humbling and an incredible thing for me. I honestly, hand on heart, say that. When I started up the channel, I was, don't mind admitting this now, in a very, very low place. If someone, and I'm sure there's people out there, if you suffer some form of how it's described to you in the hospital as a life-changing injury, I can say this 18 months down the line now, that the mental battle is as, if not more difficult than the physical battle itself in terms of your rehabilitation and your recovery. My mind was in a very, very low place when I started up the channel. As you'll know, if you've watched my early videos, there's no voice, it's little pop-ups. I was hiding behind the camera, okay, so my self-confidence and stuff was completely and utterly shot to pieces. And then it moved to watching my hand as I'm talking from away from the camera, and I did make the bold step. I think it was my first review, the tool review, it could have been the FedEx impact driver, to stand in front of the camera, and it's been a really helpful process for me to help rebuild a shattered self-confidence and self-belief. And that's only really been possible as well thanks to your feedback and your words of support, and I am genuinely really thankful for that. So I best get back to stripping the glass paint and getting the satin mud on. Thank you very much for watching this. This is a self-indulgent video, and thank you to all my subscribers. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.